This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the All Blacks have hit Dunedin running and headed straight into training since arriving in Dunedin on Sunday. Australian tourists began arriving in Queenstown yesterday as the Trans-Tasman bubble reopened. And as banking checks are all but phased out, a group of concerned seniors say the banking industry isn't listening to its customers. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Sophie Morris. The All Blacks rugby team arrived in Dunedin at the weekend and launched straight into training. The team posted a 100-plus win over a scoreless Tonga in Auckland, but the team believes the Flying Fijians may be tough to stop.
Wearing more red and black than a Christchurch-based team, the All Blacks are hitting the gym ahead of this Saturday's match at Forsyth Bar Stadium. Veteran halfback Aaron Smith doesn't want a bar of the criticism which has been flowing since the All Blacks demolished Tonga.
Yeah, I'm unsure about all the logistical stuff around the off-field stuff, but we know for the players that turned up and who competed, it was a great game. We did really well to connect with them after the game. There was a lot of people we knew in there as a group.
Smith says the weekend's match was an excellent opportunity for younger players from both nations to clock up international playing experience. During his 97 test caps for the All Blacks, Aaron Smith has not played Fiji and is looking forward to that challenge at Forsyth Bar this Saturday.
Trying to get the mindset right to make some tackles on some big men and some very good athletes. But, you know, what an exciting occasion to have the Fijian team come down to Dunedin, play in a dry stadium with a dry ball.
The last time All Blacks utility back Damien McKenzie played a test in Dunedin was against France in 2018, although he admits his memory is a little sketchy.
Was it France?
France?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a while back now, but I think I played 10 there, and yeah, it's always exciting to be down in Dunedin, particularly when you play under the roof.
As the name suggests, the utility back can play at number 10 or number 15. And McKenzie knows there are a couple of other solid players with him in the backs.
Obviously got some world-class teams in Richie and Bears at the moment, so it's been great to learn off them, and yeah, obviously playing that dual playmaker role has probably been a bit of a focus for us, and during the super season as well. So whether it's 10 or 15, similar skill sets, and yeah, I'm happy just to keep pushing Bodie and Richie and learning off them too, and just creating that competitiveness amongst us.
This week the All Blacks are set to be in and out of training ahead of the weekend's match, while the Flying Fijians are due to touch down at Momona 6 p.m. this Thursday. There are still tickets available at allblacks.com. In Dunedin, The South Today.
A man on trial for killing his wife during their belated honeymoon in Te Anau says he snapped and just wanted her to be quiet. 53-year-old Rodney Fallowfield admitted to the killing, but says he did not intend to murder Shirley Reedy at a Te Anau motel in May last year. At yesterday's start of the trial in Invercargill, Fallowfield denied the charge of murder, but told the registrar he pleaded guilty to manslaughter. The court heard Fallowfield claimed he put his hands around Reedy's throat during an argument about a previous rape allegation she had against him. The trial is set to continue this week. The Trans-Tasman travel bubble has been reopened, welcoming Australian visitors, and Queenstown is seeing its first international visitors since the bubble closed.
The international arrivals gateway at Queenstown Airport has looked like this since the re-emergence of COVID-19 in Australia, until midday yesterday when the first international visitors arrived since the Trans-Tasman bubble closed last month. The pause for Western Australia and the Northern Territory will be lifted at 11:59 p.m. on Friday, but as of noon yesterday, those in Victoria, South Australia, Tasmania and the ACT can travel here freely, providing they have evidence of a negative pre-departure COVID test within 72 hours of boarding. A Jetstar spokesperson says flights are proving popular this week. However, New Zealanders crossing the ditch to Australia are required to have a negative COVID-19 test result before being allowed to board. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A passenger on a flight bound for Dunedin says people were screaming and crying after the aircraft couldn't land and was forced to turn back to Wellington. Amanda Doyley boarded the Air New Zealand flight just before 9 a.m. this morning with plans to finish her university holidays down south on a ski trip. It ended up being the worst flight she has ever been on due to bad weather in Dunedin. Doyley says the pilot abandoned the landing and informed passengers it was too dangerous, so they'd have to head back to Wellington. An Air New Zealand spokesperson confirmed the flight was unable to land due to strong wind. A group of concerned senior citizens are calling on the nation's banks to play by the rules. Many older New Zealanders have used cheques as a safe way of paying for goods for many years and say banks should still be using them.
Looking to the heavens for inspiration. This group of Dunedin-based seniors are calling on New Zealand's banks to keep honouring cheques. Visual Impairment Charitable Trust Aotearoa campaigner Lindley Hood has a stern warning for those at the head of the banking sector.
Realise they're just going to fail in a big way if they don't connect with the people they're supposed to be serving.
BNZ have announced they aim to phase out cheques by the end of this month. ANZ discontinued the use of cheques at the end of May 2021, while Westpac and Rabobank refused to accept cheques from the end of last month. Lindley Hood believes the New Zealand Bankers Association is out of touch with the needs of their customers.
To all cheque users who've been jerked around by the New Zealand Banking Association and its members, withdrawing cheques without giving a thought until the very last minute of how people have successfully managed their business all their lives by using cheques have suddenly had the rug pulled out from under them.
The Visual Impairment Charitable Trust Aotearoa is hosting a public meeting in the Dunningham Suite on the 4th floor of the Dunedin Public Library this Wednesday. Lindley Hood says they've invited people from the New Zealand Bankers Association to come and speak, but the offer was declined. Wednesday's panel discussion is due to begin at 1:30 p.m. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, skaters take to the ice in Alexandra and a school in Stewart Island leads the way in environmentally friendly power. We'll see you after the break.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life, Tuesdays, 7:30.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Ah, TV, our favourite babysitter. But it can be tough keeping up with what our tamariki are watching. Luckily, the Broadcasting Standards Authority has made some smart changes to the classification labels. Ooh! Plus changes to the time of day certain rated shows will air, and awesome new parental lock features, meaning your babysitter's job is safe. Find out more at safeviewing.co.nz.
Welcome back. A 7-year fight to rid Mataura of toxic waste stored at its former paper mill is finally over. The government announced yesterday all 10,000 tonnes of aluminium dross byproducts stored in the town's old paper mill had been removed. The bags of waste are being stored in watertight shipping containers at the Tiwai Point smelter. The focus will move to the removal of similar material from other known sites in Southland. Mining company Rio Tinto has agreed to pay the $6 million clean-up bill, and we'll bring you more of this story tomorrow. Many of those taking part in the recent ice skating championships at Alexandra found the outdoor rink to be an unexpected challenge. With many competitors having previously only skated indoors, the -5-degree start to the morning was a surprise to those from out of town.
More than 50 competitors from across the country took part in the Alexandra Ice Skating Club Championships at the local Ison Line rink. While competitors ranged in age, experience and skill, they all shared a passion for the ice. Because Alexandra's rink is outdoors, this means the season for local skaters is only 3 months long. But organisers say the locals did well in the competition. For many of those from outside central Otago, the event was their first time competing on an outdoor rink, with the morning starting at -5 degrees. The Alexandra Championships are about midway in the competitive season on ice, with many from here going on to Dunedin for the Otago Southland Championships at the end of this month, followed by the South Island Championships in Christchurch in mid-August. In Alexandra, the South Today.
Half Moon Bay School on Stewart Island has swapped to diesel for solar power with the installation of 60 solar panels on the school's roof. However, it will take a lot more to have the entire island switch from diesel generators to more environmentally friendly sources of electricity.
Energy and Resources Minister Dr Megan Woods cuts the ribbon to the recently refurbished Half Moon Bay School on Stewart Island. An injection of $50,000 of government funding has transformed the school's roof with 60 solar panels. Sun Energy Solar Managing Director Andrew Wells says the panels create enough electricity to power the whole school.
In the 2 months that we've had this system operating, we've generated enough power to run the school entirely from their solar system. So some of their power goes into their battery to get used through the evening, and some of it gets sold or given back to the island's power supply, and then they're buying a little bit back. But fundamentally it's generated the same number of kilowatt hours of energy that the school consumed.
Most of Stewart Island gets its power from diesel generators, burning a whopping 355,000 litres each year.
So this system's going to save the school about $8,000 a year, and it's going to reduce the diesel consumption by about 5,000 litres a year.
School Principal Kath Johnson says she's pleased the school is now able to be more environmentally friendly.
Obviously on Rakiura the power's all generated by diesel generators, which is not terribly environmentally friendly and it's pretty expensive. So just being able to have a cheaper power source and a more renewable power source fits with our school curriculum as well, being an Enviro school and a lot of environmental education that we do. So yeah, just a win-win all the way around.
The school was burning about 5,000 litres of diesel a year, But this is less than 2% of the total diesel consumption on the island. So simple maths suggests if it cost $50,000 to convert just a school to solar power, it will cost close on $5 million to replace diesel with solar power across the whole island. Another environmentally conscious alternative, harnessing wind power, hit a snag with the Southland District Council earlier this year, when it abandoned plans to build 2 wind turbines on Stewart Island. But the Energy and Resources Minister says she's pleased at how well solar power works this far south.
There was, of course, the Provincial Growth Fund planned around the wind turbine last year. There wasn't a consensus around where that should go. But I think one of the interesting things through this project is we're obviously at a certain latitude where people have assumed for a long time that solar doesn't hold a lot of possibilities. But what we're seeing here is this system performing 20% ahead of where the expectations and the calculations were.
It will take about 8 years for the school's $50,000 solar panels to break even. On Stewart Island, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, a group is appealing the granting of a resource consent for a bridge over the Mataura River, and we check out the weather.
All new episodes of Put Some Colour in Your Life are now screening on Channel 39. Take a look at Australian artists and the techniques they use in their studio. Put Some Colour in Your Life. Tuesdays, 7:30.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent. Love it. Chicks World. Chicks World.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. The group appealing the granting of a resource consent for a bridge over the Mataura River has about a month to raise the money needed to pay its costs. The Waimea Plans Landscape Preservation Society is appealing a decision of independent commissioners to grant the Gore District Council consent to build a cable stay bridge across the Mataura River. The bridge will not only allow pedestrian and cycle access across the river, but also will provide a water pipe crossing. The Society says it estimates the cost of the appeal could be up to $100,000. It says it will apply to the Environmental Legal Assistance Fund. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The All Blacks have hit the ground running, heading straight into training since arriving in Dunedin on Sunday. Australian tourists began arriving in Queenstown yesterday as the Trans-Tasman bubble reopened. And as banking checks are all but phased out, a group of concerned seniors say the banking industry isn't listening to its customers. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry.
Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
Wacky weather hits the south. Did you notice today was unseasonably warm?
It was a little bit spooky.
Yeah, well, it hit about 18 throughout the south, here and there, which was kind of interesting. But it also brought strong winds, and as a result, about hundreds of homes are without power in central Otago. Trees brought down, etc., and there was some interesting activity at the airport where a plane was about to land and then couldn't. So and there was a lot of turbulence, so that was quite a drama apparently. So yeah, so the weather gods are playing games yet again. Bit of snow, and now we've got warm weather and wind. So there you go. On a quieter note, salt water runs through the veins of 3 generations of a Nelson family who have docked at Keres Bay in Dunedin after a circumnavigation of the South Island. We caught up with the family, and after their latest adventure, which is over 25 years of nautical travel, so they have a few tales to tell, so we have that story. Southern District Health Board have offered a contract to a much needed neurosurgeon, but they're not confident that the doctor will sign the deal, so concerns there. And of course, last week the Balnels Golf Club burnt down, nearly a century of history lost, and a future wedding cancelled. But what are the plans for the club? So read about that in the paper tomorrow. And in Fresh, we have a look at a new activity, or a new activity, foraging for food. It's become increasingly popular over the years, in recent years, and Rebecca Fox, our lifestyle editor, talks to one of New Zealand's first international professional foragers and a couple of amateur Dunedin foragers, and they are very excited about the discoveries on their doorstep.
Alrighty. Wonderful.
So there's an activity for you.
Okay, do it on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you, Mary. And now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MoleMap.
Starting with the southern view, blue skies over Dunedin before the clouds arrived. Looking at the situation, a very cold few days ahead as southwesterly airflow returns to the region, bringing snow showers tonight to low levels inland and frosty mornings in the days ahead. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, rain and 14 degrees for Greymouth and Westport. To the northeast, partial cloud and 14 degrees for Nelson, and scattered showers and 13 for Blenheim. To Canterbury, showers for the region with 11 degrees in Kaikoura, 8 degrees in Christchurch and 7 in Ashburton. To the southern towns, fresh southwesterlies, showers clearing and 7 degrees for the Catlins, Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore. In central, decreasing southerlies becoming fine for most centres with 7 degrees in Wanaka and Alexandra and 5 degrees in Queenstown. Te Anau can expect fresh southwesterlies and showers clearing with 7 degrees. To the northern towns, fresh southwesterlies and showers clearing on the coast with 9 degrees in Timaru and 8 in Oamaru. Inland, decreasing southerlies becoming fine and 7 degrees for Twizel and Omarama. And Dunedin, rain tonight with strong to near gale cold southwesterlies and a low of 4. Morning showers tomorrow, clearing and sunny periods increasing during the afternoon. Cold with moderate to fresh southwest winds, a high of 7 and a low of 4. Cold still on Thursday, a high of 8 and a low of 2. And in Invercargill, sleety showers tonight with strong, very cold southwesterlies and a low of 4. Showers clearing tomorrow and sunny periods increasing with fresh, cold southwesterlies easing, a high of 8 and a low of 4. Mostly fine at first on Thursday with rather cloudy skies and fresh, cold southwesterlies. More showers and stronger winds developing late in the day, a high of 8 and a low of 3. That's all for our news this Tuesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz or follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.